Hawaiian Islands to Orient, contact clearance level 126.5.
And Chalk 6 is taking fire. Okay, divert south of the river. I see you over the red guys. I just called over. Yes, damn well.
Since the dawn of the first age, by the elders it was foretold, a mighty cure that would rise when needed most. Their words would inspire enlightenment among the common. As it was prophesied, it has come to pass. Everybody has a podcast.
You know, the stuff that annoys me right now, I try to live pretty stress-free, my friend. So I let a lot of stuff roll off my back, but I'm trying to think of...
Well, Terry, so it's interesting you say that because, you know, I've known you for, let's say, 3, 4, 5 months.
Yeah.
You do. You strike me as a very carefree man who just, you enjoy life, and I hate that I'm so bitter about things. What is your secret? What are your secrets to success, would you say?
Well, success or just living a carefree life, because they're not exactly the same thing.
Right.
But honestly, short answer is I worked corporate America till I was 2 years ago, and the grind was killing me. And I have a beautiful wife who allowed me to quit my job, basically, and I did. And that's what allowed me to do a little bit of Win in Austin more than That's why, you know, when you tell me, hey, I'm working so hard, because I sell insurance during the day as well. But that, you know, I'm a new insurance agent. I don't have someone beating on me 24/7. So I was able to do Win in Austin and a few other things. But the whole point of me quitting and getting off the merry-go-round, if you will, is like, just simplify the life. And it's I hate to say it's a decision, but you wake up in the morning and I just decide I don't care that much. I'm going to take care of me and try to live by my values and go about my life, man. Have a good time.
So yeah, there's something, and me and Billy, we've kind of talked about this in the past, and this would be a great time to have this conversation because Terry did it.
Absolutely.
We always talk about the grind and how it just drains your soul. And honestly, man, that's got to be a good 50% of my stress. And it's, you know, like, in the end, is it worth it?
Well, let me tell you, it's not. And because when I left, one of the first things my wife told me, and she said, when there was a couple of months into it, she said, you know, I like you better now that you've left your job. and you know, she meant it in a very positive way, in the sense that I am more present. I spend better quality time with her. I'm more relaxed. I'm not constantly thinking about the next damn conference call I got to get on. You know, things like that.
Well, I think the problem too with the corporate grind is, you know, because all three of us, Terry, you're lucky enough to make the right decision to live carefree and get out of it. But when you start it, you know, you're a low to mid-level person, and you bust your butt to get to that next level. You know, and that's all you can imagine is like, man, it'd be so great to make, you know, 35K a year or 40K a year and 45. You just keep climbing the ladder, and it's each time's a promotion. Every time you get a promotion, it becomes more stressful. There's more shit you're held accountable for that you really can't control, and that's the worst part. When you ascend to a certain amount of leadership or management, you could come to work every day and do it the right way. You know, be a strong leader. You know, motivate your people. Just bust ass every day. But one of your employees just has an off day and royally F something up. That's your fault. You know, I mean, if you're the proper leader, you should be. You own that, right? And you obviously follow up with them. But that, you know, I love the company I work for, and I could not ask for a better job to have. But even me, I'll come home sometimes, and I've got a rule where you don't take it home with you. Don't take it home with you. I've always tried to say that. I've tried to preach that to other people. But there's some days I'll come home, and man, I'm just pissed. You know, like it eats me up. I don't think men were created or humans were created to sit in an office all day. I just don't think we were.
I agree, and I certainly don't want to make it sound flippant and easy. I remember coming up with the idea to leave probably 2.5 years before I actually did it. And Vicky, you know, it's basically, I mean, because she's paying the mortgage now for the most part. You know, it's refi the house. Don't buy that new car. Make sure both cars are paid off. Put money in the bank. You know, all the BS that you know. It was a 3-year decision basically for me to be able to walk away. It wasn't. I in that time. If you're a Shawshank Redemption fan, I called it digging my tunnel, and it was just that mentality every day. Once I started digging my tunnel, it wasn't like I quit and it's like, oh, I'm free. My freedom started the day I started digging that tunnel. And at least as I knew I was digging the tunnel, even if it was just 2 hands full of dirt I put out to the yard every day, I knew I was going in that direction. And that gave me peace of mind, and it got better and better and better. I never forget the day, not to belabor the story, but I knew I had the ability to leave my job in January. I actually didn't leave my job until April. And this is back in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember the year, maybe 2011. And it was just like free. I went to work every day, and I was like, if I want to quit, I'm going to quit, and I stayed around because I was there 10 years and I had a couple of projects that I was working on. It was that work ethic, I wanted to get it done. I wanted to leave them. It's always something else over the mountain, but I drew a line in the sand 6 months before saying, these are the projects I'm going to make sure that are done correctly. And I'm not taking on any more. And if they try to put it on me, I'm just going to walk away. And that's what I did.
I admire that.
I sound like I'm preaching to y'all now, and I apologize.
No. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, man. Because me and Billy specifically have had this conversation many, many times. I hate. I was unemployed for like 6 months, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and because I had no family, I had a roommate. I was like, screw it. I'm riding this out. I'm honestly, I'm very anti-government helping you out, but I was in that position. I was like, I don't care. I need to chill out. Best thing that ever happened to me.
Absolutely.
I just chilled out. I hit the gym for literally like 2 hours every day. It was amazing. And it's been 2.5, 3 years since then. And honestly, everything, all the stress I got out, it's all back.
I lost 62 pounds since the day I left my job. I was at UPS. 62 pounds.
Nice.
And basically because I woke up every day thinking, and this is the freedom of my wife giving it to me, giving me the freedom to. And I woke up and I thought, how am I going to take care of Terry? What am I going to eat today? What am I going to do to get myself healthy? And then my second thought was, what am I going to do to make money? But I took care of me first, and totally changed my whole world, basically.
Well, and I think sometimes we become a bit myopic with the whole, I guess, the purpose of life. I think me personally too. I'm like, man, I'm going to get out of school. I'm going to get that good job. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to get married. I'm going to, buy a boat. I'll buy this. I'll buy that. And, that's what we're all kind of taught, the happiness, make a lot of money and you'll be happy. But like, it may be the opposite, man. I mean, I think that if we chill the hell out and don't kill ourselves so much, stress will kill you. Like you were talking about, you lost a bunch of weight being stress free. Stress is terrible on the heart. We may have the whole thing backwards, like I think happiness is relative. And if you can live within your means, it doesn't matter how much money you have coming in. It's all about, how much you spend. And I'm trying to balance that right now, work-life balance. It's just tough because you're also, when you're ambitious, it's also tough because, you want to make sure you're living to your potential. So I admire that, Terry. I really do.
Well, I'm not I just for the record, I'm not a bum, right? So not that you called me a bum, but I'm just saying I'm still very ambitious, and
sure.
Ryan probably can attest to that because you could probably see the ambition I put into this podcast that I do. I'm very aggressive on that, and I built up a pretty good audience, and I'm very proud of that. Proud's probably an overstatement because I'm just kind of blown away that anybody actually listens. Quite frankly, we sit in a room like this, and people actually listen to what we do. That's a whole nother side conversation. But the other point is, I'm busting my butt every day trying to build my insurance business, but it's mine. I know that at the end of the day, it's my little world, my little piece that I kind of take ownership of, and it makes it all worthwhile. It's a slow road, but I'm happy doing it, and so the ambition with me is still there. So I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm carefree, but I'm not just like, I don't even know where I'm going to eat tomorrow. I mean, like I assure you, when I get that paycheck once a month on what I sold, because basically it's hunt, eat, kill, or hunt, kill, eat. Excuse me. So if I don't perform, dude, my paycheck's pretty harsh. Well,
it sounds like to me too. You spent most of your professional life making other people a lot of money.
Absolutely.
But so you spent majority of your day doing things that you may have enjoyed, or you may have, made yourself think you enjoyed, to the point now where you're fully vested in your own future. You're doing what you want to do. You're passionate about it, and you have time to do a really kick-ass podcast too. So like that's got to be absolutely liberating because Ryan and I work for a place that literally closed down. They announced to us that we're no longer going to exist in 4 months or 3 months or however long it was. And it was terrible at first because, like, I had to tell all of my employees that they weren't going to have jobs. And it was like a couple months before Christmas, wasn't it? It was pretty close to Christmas. But I tell you, once we got back like 1 or 2 weeks outside of that, like, I stopped giving a shit about the job. And it was the most liberating thing in the world. I would come to work every day with this huge smile on my face, because I had another job lined up and I knew I was going to be okay financially. It was weird how that weight was lifted. Just a matter of just knowing that, like, I'm going to come to work, but I don't got to worry about any of this other corporate BS. Or Ryan, how about you? What do you think, man?
Well, I think the number one problem that F's everybody up with all of this, everybody has this goal, right? Your goal is you retire. You work until you save up to retire, and then you retire. The problem that F's everybody up is they do get that new car every few years. They do go get that new house when they don't need to. No one lives within their means, myself included. I'm working on this very much. I'm not going to be in this rat race any longer than I have to be. I love my job. It's very fulfilling. It's doing what I love doing in IT. It's super fascinating. But man, I don't want to do it any longer than I have to. And I'm never going to live outside of my means. If I have to drive my beater, Liberate Southern Africa truck for the rest of my life, that's fine, dude. I don't care.
Well, we spoke about this before too. Like we, believe it was last show, or you're talking about, or a couple of shows ago, you're talking about the homeless man on the beach in Galveston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we work our entire lives, and depending on whatever your end-all fantasy is, some people want to live in a big city, some people want to move to like the Alps or Colorado. But, mine personally is to live on a beach one day. But I think about it. Every time I go to the beach, I see people that live there. They're not living great. Like they're working random jobs just to kind of stick afloat. But they're living on the beach. They're doing it, right?
Yeah.
But my plan is to work until I'm 65, 67, then move to the beach. So who's got it figured out?
Yeah.
Like they may drive an 8-year-old car, and I may be able to buy a new one. But like, if I'm keeping a scoreboard, I think they're up.
Well, you both, real quick, both of you guys seem like young guys, younger than me, I should say.
Well,
and my father,
we moisturize.
Yeah, you look good. My father, who's a good mentor of mine, his advice to me was, I was turning 45 this year, and he said, your 40s, you can still make one more career mistake. In other words, I could jump ship, and if I totally fell on my face in 2 or 3 years, I still am in my 40s where I can go get another job. You hit your 50s, and you try to do what I just did this time, quit my job. He's like, you got to make a decision either to go through this and hunker down and make it to retirement, or go ahead and jump ship, see if you can make it, and if you can't, then you can jump back into corporate America if you had to. Not that I'm planning on doing it, because once you're out, dude, I'm going into at the end of my second year here. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't go back. But you know what I'm saying. I think that's advice back to you guys. In other words, you still have time to position yourself.
Sure.
Position yourself and make your move, and then if it fails, just jump back in where you're at.
And then one last question, and this is too personal, let me know, but you kind of touched on this earlier. Your wife, who now is the main breadwinner for now anyways, while you build up your thing, she agrees this was definitely the best decision, it sounds like?
Yes, because the concept is and I assure you, she's not, and I'm not denigrating or anything, but she's not, a lawyer or a doctor making 6 figures, right? We're modest. The car that we drive every day is a 2000 Saturn SL1 that I literally replaced and I had no idea how to do this, by the way, but the fan motor on the radiator broke. I Googled it. And they were going to charge me $350 in the shop. I literally Googled it, watched a YouTube video, and I bought the part at AutoZone for $25 and replaced it myself to keep that car going.
Yep.
And it's just what you do. So my point is, yes, she is the primary breadwinner, and the idea is that what I'm doing now will flip, if you will,
sure,
and I will get back to where I am. And I want to give her the freedom back in 3 or 4 years from now to say, you know what, you want to quit your job? What do you want to do? And this current career that I'm in will lead me down that path where I'll be able to flip the table, because we're basically learning how to live at a certain standard of living that's less than where we were. And then when I can make back the two of us combined, I can give her the same freedom, basically the same option. And that's where we're heading towards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds. And plus, coming up with your podcast at Win in Austin, like we discussed, man, give it 6 months to a year, you're going to be getting free beer everywhere anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Hand beer right here, like this. This is how it works. Pink.